Well, welcome into Late Night Confessions with Jeremy Lefebvre. So, you never know what you're going to find out on this channel. You might find out some information you probably has never been put out there to the world before. But today we're going to talk about how I've been working since I was 7 years old. And I'm talking about real working. I'm not talking about like had a lemonade stand or used to do a yard sale sometimes. No. I'm talking real work. And I want to kind of tell you guys a little bit about this story because I think it will inspire some of you. I think you'll learn a bit from this. We're going to kind of talk about the details here. I think it will let you think a little bit differently about how you raise your kids potentially someday. If you have no kids, or if you're watching this and you do have kids, you might be thinking about like how do you instill like work ethic into them and things like that. I think it's going to change some viewpoints, and I want to talk a little bit about this story. I just feel like this is a good moment in time for me to talk about something like this because I don't think I've ever talked about it literally. I've been on YouTube for over 4 years now, and I don't think anybody knows this out there. So let's get into this, guys. I hope you enjoyed as always. If you don't mind, smash a thumbs up for me. I appreciate it. Let's get into this. So the story basically goes as this. So my dad, he started a pool cleaning and service repair business back when I was like probably 4 or 5 years old or something like that. So he had this business doing that essentially. And so eventually, like right around age 7, I started like actually going with him and cleaning all the pools and doing all the service jobs. And so as soon as like summer break would start or winter break or like those random days off, whatever, I went to work with my dad. Every single day out there. There was no like such thing as just like chilling. Like I don't even know what like kids do during summer break. Like summer break was, I don't know if it still is nowadays, but it was 3 months long essentially. So for 3 months during the middle of summer, I'm going out there working with my dad Monday through Friday, every day out there grinding. And like I said, I don't even know like what do kids usually do in summer? I guess hang out with friends and like watch TV and stuff like that. That was certainly not my childhood. That was certainly not my upbringing. We went to work every single day. And we started usually 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., which if you know me nowadays, I'm a night owl, right? I'm recording this video. It's probably almost 3 a.m. So it's kind of funny, like, as a kid getting up so early. And nowadays I go to bed like at 5 a.m. or whatever. So, but yeah, we would just be grinding out there, man. It'd be like 110 plus degrees. I mean, this is Phoenix, Arizona. It'd be like 110 plus degrees by like noontime. So you got to start super early in the day so you can hopefully get the majority of your work done before it gets like insanely hot. Because the good news is if you start at like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the summertime, remember this is outdoors in the heat every day, you're going to slightly beat the heat because it's only going to be like 95 to 100 degrees probably at that time, which isn't that bad, okay? 95, we can take that, okay? But when it starts getting to 110, 115, 118, it gets pretty vicious. So that was my childhood, going to work every single day. And I did with that with my dad until I was probably like 17 years old or so, 17, 18 years old, somewhere around there. And that's what we did ever since I was 7 years old. So I think this needs to be covered before we kind of get into my perspective on this. And I'm going to give you 5 big reasons, basically why I think that has helped me tremendously in becoming financially successful. And I want to make it very clear, like I have no resentment to my father. I'm actually very thankful that he took this approach. And, at the time, obviously, first off, my dad, as a kid, you couldn't really speak up to my dad. Like, that's not going to happen. So, but definitely, it's not fun to be waking up at 5 a.m. You know what I mean? As a kid, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. And it's not fun to be working out in those elements every day. 100 plus degrees in the summer, every single day out there grinding. Winter break, shoot, I remember I used to hate winter break because the wintertime, even though it doesn't get like insanely cold in Arizona, it's still like 40 degrees. And when you're putting your raw hands in that 40 degree like pool water, oh man, I tell you, your skin just starts like breaking off. You can't wear gloves or anything because your hands are all wet. So it's not like there's no escape. Like I see people like, back east or in the snow and stuff, they wear these gloves. Like you can't do that in the pool business. Like you got to put your actual hands in there. I used to hate that, man. But anyways, I have no resentment to my father. I'm super thankful, actually. He made that decision, basically. So number one, work ethic. Like my work ethic's pretty off the charts. Like I said, I'm recording this at probably like 3 a.m. I'm not even going to make any money off this video because literally this channel is not even monetized as of recording this video. So I think it's made me a really hard person to compete with. Whatever you're trying to compete with me in, it's really hard to, I think, compete with me because I'm just going to outwork you over time. It's just pretty much the way it goes. Like my work ethic is just, it is what it is. That's all I'm going to say about that. Like, it's just, I grind out there. Like, I'm always willing to put in the work, in investing. Like, I'm always willing to look at things like other people aren't willing to do. Like tonight, I went all the way down to the strip just to do a channel check of a stock I own. Like all the way down there just to do a quick channel check, to drive around the property, see how busy it was. Like, how many people are really willing to put in that type of work? Like, go do this, go do that, read all these reports, things like that. Record a video that they're not even going to make any money off of at 2:39 a.m. Like, I think I'm really tough to compete with work ethic wise. And I have a lot of respect for other people that have strong work ethic, and I can definitely see that in somebody else. And I respect that big time. But, it's instilled in me. It's not like I go out of my way to work hard or do certain things. It's in my blood. Like, it's the way I was raised, and it's like going to be here forever, essentially, at the end of the day. Number 2 of these 5 ways I think it helped me tremendously is just business. Like, being involved in my dad's pool business, like always getting to see, like, without even having to think about it, just like seeing the stuff like, oh, we buy this huge bucket of tabs. I remember sometimes we used to buy this 300-pound like bucket of chlorine tabs because you get the biggest discount if you got this 300-pound bucket of chlorine tabs. Essentially ridiculous. And we bust it apart in the backyard and like start putting the tabs in like 50-pound buckets and things like that. And I remember just like seeing that, oh, my dad sells a tab for $1 per chlorine tab or whatever it was back then, and he gets them for 50 cents. And so, he's making 50 cents each time he puts a chlorine tab in a pool. Oh, that's cool. Oh, a trap basket. Somebody's trap basket broke. They need a new one. Oh, $20, but he bought it at his pool supplier for, $13 or $12 or whatever. We need to do a new motor for a pool, right? $400 for that. And he might have bought it for $220 at the pool supplier. So all it is now his labor, wiring all in, getting it all ready and things like that. Boom. You know what I mean? So just like getting to see like how a business is made, like how you can make profits and things like that, just from a very young age. And I just like understood business kind of like a first language at a very young age without even having to like work at it really. And so I think it's helped me tremendously in a very unfair advantage when it comes to stocks and the stock market and things like that, because like right from the jump, I'm able to like understand businesses just a little better than everybody else can understand them for the most part. And so the only things I had to really focus on when I was really getting in this, like the stock market, for instance, at 18, 19 years old, was like the financials and valuations, because it's kind of like 3 core components of like becoming a successful investor. You got to be really good at telling a great business from a good business, from an average business, from a bad business. Number 2, the financials, understanding financials on a high levels, balance sheets, income statements, things like that. And the last one is valuations, like being able to value a business and understand why a business is worth this much, why it should be worth more or less, and things like that. So helped me tremendously. I got a little picture. You're probably wondering who the heck that random kid is down there. That's Floyd Mayweather as a kid, actually. And I always remember my brother introduced me to Floyd Mayweather a long time ago, and I've always been super inspired by his backstory, because Mayweather was kind of almost bred to be a world-class boxer, the biggest boxer in the world, because his dad, his uncle, were professional fighters, and just from a super young age, he was involved in boxing, and like it was always just like what he did. And I just feel like I see some similarities between him and I when it comes to just that like work ethic, but also like him being like a boxer and just kind of being bred for that. And me, I just feel like I was just bred to be like business. Like I just feel like from such a young age, like I just have like an unfair kind of competitive advantage when it comes to business and investing and understanding these sorts of things that other people, it might be really hard for them to wrap their heads around different things. And I just like get it. So, so this is another thing. I'm just super appreciative that, I was just brought into this certain kind of way. Number 3, customer service. I mean, my gosh, I always watch my dad, and you might think, well, with a manual labor job like being a pool man or, and serviceman and things like that, you might like denigrate the customer service levels, like it's not important or something like that. And my dad always had amazing customer service levels. My dad, when we would go clean a pool, he's the type of guy that the customers want to come out and talk to and have a conversation, and a respectful conversation, a conversation that's not focused on the job, just like how you doing, what's going on with the family, like just different, and not the type of, it's just not the type of, most people wouldn't even speak to their pool man. You know what I mean? And yet my dad, he's the type of guy that, just watching him in a business environment with dealing with customers and how they just really love him. And it's amazing. It's really amazing to see that in that type of field. And so I just got to see that firsthand every day and just got to understand customer service on such a high level where it's another one of those things. It just became like this is just how you do it, man. Like it's not even I don't need to even try. I literally don't even need to try. I just know how to do it. Kind of remember I was giving you that example of Mayweather, right? Mayweather knows no matter what punch is thrown at him, he knows exactly how to handle and throw the right punch back, right? And it's not even like he needs to think. It's just it's like a second instinct to him. And for me, it's the same exact thing when it comes to customer service. I just get it. I just I don't even need to try at this stuff. And so when I started my real estate, first off, I think that's the only reason Quick Trip hired me. I don't think I was really ready to be in management when I got hired at Quick Trip. But I think when I did get the interview, I think they were just kind of blown away with how well I interact in a business environment and the customer service levels and things like that. But when I had my real estate marketing company, let me be very clear. I was by far and away the worst photographer, videographer in real estate when I started that business, okay? I believe the only reason I was able to make that business successful is because of my customer service levels. And the reason I was willing to go back and do photos again at a job or a video again at a job, whatever it took, I was willing to get it done. Work ethic, customer service, and understanding clients, being able to talk to them and being able to have an intelligent conversation with them and me having a lot of respect for them, showing them a lot of respect so they show me respect back and things like that. And just I was able to build that into literally I bet you there are not five, I bet you I was top 5 most profitable photo, video, real estate businesses in 2017 in all of Nevada. And I want to be very clear. I was still probably the worst photographer, videographer of the bunch, okay? How do you bridge that gap? And especially when you had no connections in the industry or anything like that. Simply customer service and being a people person and just understanding little idiosyncrasies that other people just don't get. And I don't even need to try at it. I just get it. So that business just really taught me about customer service. And to this day, in our organization, if there's ever a questionable customer service move, I am on it ASAP, man. If I ever see somebody say something that I think's even a little bit out of pocket when it comes to customer service and they're on the team, we're going to have a chat. That's all I'm going to say about that. And I don't really care, who it is. So that's something I take super serious. And even in investing, I recognize companies that have truly great customer service versus ones that have okay service. And I always want to be in the creme de la creme customer service-wise. It's a reason I invest in a company like Wynn versus companies like Caesars or MGM or something like that. There's a difference in customer service. And when you have elevated customer service, guess what else you get to have? Better dollars. Because the people with money, guess where the people with money want to spend their money? With people that treat them with a lot of respect, know how to talk to them, and have great, phenomenal customer service. I have a lot of money, and I don't want to deal with anybody that has bad customer service. I can tell you, if I go to a restaurant, for instance, and I get bad service, I will never go back. I don't care how good the food was. I will never, ever go back. And that remains, if I ever feel like a waiter or waitress is being disrespectful or the service is just really bad, I don't go back, man. I'm that's it for that one. So customer service is so dang key in business, and it's really key in investing and being able to identify this. And I got to learn that from a young age, and I'm, just super thankful. Number 4, respect for money. Oh my gosh. So, being involved in that business, all summer break, winter break, holidays, any days off from school, things like that, it really taught me respect for money. And because those people are the ones that are putting food on the table at night. They're the ones that are putting food on the table each and every night. Those customers, those clients, they're the reason we can eat tonight. So I got to see that from a young age, whereas maybe other kids, maybe they have parents that, I don't know, work for, Walmart or whatever. And so it kind of almost feels like Walmart's putting that money on the table versus a customer's putting that money. You don't really think about it, the end customer. You think about it as the company, the Walmart or whatever. And so I just had like a little bit of a different point of view. And I think it's a little more entrepreneurial being in that environment from such a young age, essentially. So just really like a lot of respect for money, a lot of respect for, customers and clients and the people that are putting food on your table. And even nowadays that I'm like, have millions of dollars and like, set for life and things like that, I still like implement this in my own life. Like I still have a lot of respect for money, and like, I have attitude email stories. So, this happened at some point this month. A client, that had joined my private stock group. I don't know if they were having trouble getting in their Teachable account or what the situation was, but they tagged me on the email as well as a few of the other people in the company and things like that. And the email had attitude. I'm not gonna lie. The email had an attitude like, I can't get in here. It's just like, it was an attitude, just flat out. And I really thought about just like refunding the person their money and telling them to go take a hike. I really did, because that money, it's just not like necessary for me anymore. Like, once you're good for life, you almost don't want to take anything from anybody anymore, right? But at the end of the day, I really thought about that, and I was like, well, first off, I'm going to hurt other people in that if I do make a decision like that. And also, I'm not staying true to my core values, which is respect for customers and things like that. Like maybe this person's frustrated, they're venting it out in that email. Why should I, just because I have so much money nowadays, I should just like say, oh, screw you? No, I shouldn't do that. That's respect for money at the end of the day. It's respect for customers and clients and the people that put food on the table at the end of the day. And regardless of how much money I ever have, whether it's 10 million or 100 million or a billion or 10 billion or 100 billion, I hope I always remain true to that, and I always have respect for money, and I always have respect for customers and clients and things like that. I have a lot of faith I do because of what I do nowadays. And, like for instance, I'm on YouTube, like I can come out with a video about, some stock I'm buying. And despite all the massive success I've had and things like that, somebody could still be like, that's such a dumb stock. You're an idiot for buying that. And I could easily fire back at that and just, like put them down. But like, why? Like, why? That person's watching my content, maybe they saw some ads, why should I put them down like that? I shouldn't. That's a bad decision. That's just immaturity if I go that route, right? So just like let it go. And probably over time, the person's going to watch more of my content. They're going to realize, oh, this guy's the real deal. And they're going to probably become a fan. And who knows, maybe they become a client someday, where they end up joining the private group. And maybe it was all ruined because I popped back at them right off the bat. And I'm like, you're stupid. You're broke. You know what I mean? It's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb to make decisions like that. Having respect for money and treating people the right way, even if initially you're not treated the right way, I think it's always really, really key. So, and I think that was just something that was instilled in me at a very, very young age. Number 5 of 5. I knew I didn't want to do manual labor. Not the manual labor, man. That's rough work, man. Being out there in the elements. Like I said, 110 plus degrees almost every single day in the summer out there in Phoenix. It's rough. And I just learned, like, man, I got to use my mind for stuff. Like, this whole manual labor stuff, it's no joke. Let's just put it that way, man. It's tough. I don't know other way to put it, man. And I have so much respect for everybody that does manual labor jobs out there, because it's wear and tear on the body. It's not easy, man. I have a lot of respect for it, and I'll always have so much respect for anybody that does manual labor out there, works with their hands, man, and really does those back-breaking jobs. I will always have respect for those individuals because that's tough. It's tough work, man. And, where we mostly work, where the majority of my dad's clients were, and my mom as well, Sun City West, Sun City Grand, kind of toward the end of me kind of working with them. But those are retirement communities, age-restricted communities, and most people that live in those communities are retired. And so I got to see this as a young age, and I always remember, it's such a tough job, and it's just rough, man. And I always remember, these retired folks would come outside and, chat with my dad and stuff like that, maybe even chat with me a little bit, even though I didn't have much to say. I was always, introvert, so I didn't have much to say to them, kind of like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am type stuff. But I just knew, how are they living? You know what I mean? Like, they got this nice house, they got this nice pool. They're not working. What's going on here? And so from just a young age, I was like, oh, they have savings. They have money saved away. That's how they're able to pay these bills. That's how they're able to put food on the table. Oh, they just got a new Cadillac again. Elderly people, let's put it that way. They always love Cadillacs, especially like back in the 90s and early 2000s. I'm sure they probably still do, but man, back then, Lexuses and Cadillacs. And it's like, man, they don't even work and they just bought a new Cadillac? How? And I've never say this type of stuff, but I would think in my brain, like, dang, man, that's a really nice car they just bought. And it's like, it started hitting me at a young age. I'm like, oh, they saved away a bunch of money. Oh, they got a bunch of investments that work for them. And so I was like, nah, manual labor, I got to do something around saving money, investing money, things like that, using my mind in different ways rather than, just backbreaking work. I'll do that to get to the next level, essentially. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I hope it inspires you a little bit. And I hope you maybe think about, if you have kids, or if you ever think about having kids someday, maybe you think about, how are you going to instill work ethic in them? Because I think it's, I think it's really important. And sometimes we can get lost in life, and, next thing you know, your kids are just watching TV all day and things like that. And, so anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a great day. If you don't mind, smash the thumbs up. I appreciate it majorly. Peace, guys. Peace, peace, peace.